everybody. Granny's back. I've got a lot to tell about Vonne, because Vonne is very busy. She has a complete new hobby. She's got a sewing machine, and she loves to sew. Really, she does. She's not very good at it, but whatever she makes, it's nice to see. Just like this. This is a drawstring bag she made. See, drawstring, and it has a lining, and it's double-sided to use, so you can turn it in and out, and then the inside is this nice red with white dots, and then now this is gorgeous green, and it makes me think of Christmas. She made the straps herself from the same fabric. It is very nice, really. And since she loves to sew a lot, she doesn't have time to make a lot of tutorials. And so yesterday, it was Monday, yesterday, and then in the afternoon, for the first time in her life, she went to a handwerkclub. That is the afternoon at Tineke. Tineke is Vonne's neighbor. Well, almost. It's about 900 meters away from her. She went on her bicycle. She hadn't bicycled in, about 5 years or something. So Wiebe had to get her bicycle out of the bicycle shed. And it was full with spider webs, and her tires were flat. And so Wiebe was very technical, and he fixed her bike so she could go on her bike to Tineke from the tweedehands wolwinkel. Is such a lovely lady, really she is. And Vonne was very nervous, so she prepared a little crochet work, which she thought that would be easy to do, so when I am nervous I can crochet. Well, that was this. She made, from the ski in Iceland, she made cake, and she wanted to crochet. Well, she did. First she started with frogging because she made a mistake, and then she started over again and she made another mistake. Look, this was supposed to be a hexagon, so she could crochet a hexagon vest. But you can see she's 1 point short. These are 5 points and you need 6. And when she realized that, she was really, she was so frustrated. She said, I have no more patience. I'm going to put this away. And when I'm home, I will frog it and I will start over again. But it is gorgeous. This is going to be beautiful. So I really hope she starts again and then makes a tutorial on it. This is the Iceland yarn and crochet needle number 7. But she needs 6 points and these are 5, so she has to do it all over again. Ah, poor girl. But Tineke has not only has a web shop, but also the physical winkel. So she stood up from the chair and she said, Tineke, I'm going to visit your shop. And she did. She found sock yarn from Rico Design, the hottest socks ever. It's a 4-ply yarn. One cake has 100 grams, 365 meters, 75% wool and 25% polyamide. It's for needles 2, 3, and you should get 1 pair of socks out of 1 cake. But Vonne has a kind of problem in her head. She always thinks she comes to God, that she doesn't have enough yarn. So she cut 2 of these. And of course the needles. Okay, look, and she put it into this bag. And now she is knitting socks. Look at this. On 5 needles. Where's the 5th one? Over here. Look. She started. And now she has 15 rounds of the board. She starts at the board and works through the heel to the toe. Because Joke from Creaties, she has a tutorial series on knitting socks on 5 needles. So she has needles can you see it? 2.5 millimeters. And now she's knitting. And they are going to be gorgeous, the socks. Look at the colors. Tineke had a couple of colors, but she had so much sock yarn, and knitting socks is so much fun to do. And now I said to her, you know what? Let me knit a bit for you, so you can do other things. So I am knitting. I have to do 5 more rows of this board stitch. So 2 knit, 2 purl, 2 recht, 2 averecht. And then Vonne wanted to knit the sock that Joke made with the coffee bean stitch. And she really has to watch the tutorial on that one, because that's quite complicated, even though Joke says it's a simple stitch pattern, but you have to pay attention. So that's what Vonne wants to do. And I said, you know what, let me finish your 5 rounds of board stitch for you, so you can do something else. And then when the coffee bean stitch is on the turn, on the bird, then you can do that. And when you say, well, it's too complicated for me, I can't pay attention enough and all, and I am making mistakes, then I will finish it for you. Because I have knitted socks, oh, so many. And knitting socks is so much fun. And really, the old-fashioned way, with 5 needles, it's very simple. But I have made it a bit more complicated by knitting with short needles, because in my younger days, I had those very long sock needles, and you could put 1 needle under your arm and then just knit the usual way. But these are short sock needles, you see, these are 20 centimeters, so it's more easy, I think, to knit the continental way. So you can keep 1 needle in your hand and knit your sock. And Vonne has asked Joke, could you please, pretty please, knit socks on 5 needles and then starting with the toe? And Joke said, well, yeah, I would love to film that, but I have so much to do. Really, I have so many ideas for tutorials, so she doesn't have the time. So now Vonne has 2 skeins of that sock yarn. So when she starts at the top of the sock and knits down, she always has enough yarn to make it as long as she likes, because she loves long leg parts, not those short socks, you know, but long. And yeah, then it is the question, do you have enough yarn? So I understand Vonne that she said, well, I need two of those balls. And yes, sock yarn is not cheap. Really, it is not. Because when you buy socks in the store, you can buy 5 pair of socks for €10 or something. and then you can wear them all season. And then they are stuck. They have holes and all. And those socks are not fitted to be stopped. That you stop the holes in them. So you throw them away. And they're cheap enough to say, okay, well, I'm not going to put all that work in there to stop the socks like our mothers used to do. And then you throw them away. These socks, yeah, the yarn is not cheap, but you can wear them for years and years and years, and they are very nice and warm at your feet. And you know, when you have warm feet, you have a warm body. So for this winter, when Vonne and I together, we can knit socks, then she has nice warm feet, and so she won't be cold. And you can do years and years and years with them. And then there are people who say, well, they are glad, and then I slip and I fall. And I think that's nonsense. Come on, we walk on socks for years. And yeah, of course you can slip sometimes, but you can slip on your shoes as well. Who cares? Don't make such a fuss out of it. And otherwise, you can buy sock stop. That's a kind of some kind of non-slippery glue you can put on the sole of the socks. A couple of drops, like you see on those kids socks, you know, for kids. Then there are from those bubbles on the other underside of the sock, and then they won't fall. But I think everybody is so over careful. Come on, children have to learn. And I know a lot of people won't agree with me, and maybe a lot of people are angry with me, but that's my opinion, and everybody has a right to their own opinion. And please, these socks are not for a kid. These are for Vonne. So it's Vonne's responsibility to determine whether she wants a risk of slipping or not. And Vonne says, well, I will slip over anything, so don't bother putting sock stop on it. I have a warretje around my finger, you see? And now all around my needle. Okay, now it's fine again, like that. What was I saying? Oh, Vonne slips about anything, so sock stop is not necessary for her. Even when she wears her shoes, she can fall, so don't bother. But you see how easy and how fast this goes. I have 16 stitches on every needle, so I have 64 in all, and that's enough for a grown-up foot with needles number 2.5. You can find all kinds of schedules on the internet, so you know for what size of sock you need how many stitches and the needles, and you got different kinds of plies. This is a 4-ply. That means there are 4 threads twined together. And you have 8-ply, and you have 3-ply, and oh, you have so many different plies. So there are schedules for the different kinds of sock yarn. And these days, stores have so many different kinds of sock yarns that there is something for everybody. Really, there is. Everybody can find a kind of yarn they like. And when you are on the web shop from Tineke, from Vonne's neighbor, then you can see a lot of socks, different sock yarns. And when you go to her store, then you can find even more, because not everything she could put in her web shop, I think, because that is a lot of work. Look, now I am at my last red part of thread, and then there's going to be brown and cream. Gorgeous. And then when that is done, then you get this nice blue, and then you are at the starting thread again for the next sock. But I'm going to knit just as long as Vonne wants me to, or if she wants to and she can find the time to knit. And that green thread I'm just going to knit into the pattern. I don't mind. Then you get crazy socks. I love crazy socks. Life is too short to worry about your socks. Don't matter. When you have, always when you go washing your socks, you will lose the left sock. And then instead of a left sock and a right sock, you always have right socks for your right feet. Well, as a matter of fact, as you have 2 right socks, you could try and fit 1 sock on your left foot, and you will find out that the sock for your right foot will fit your left foot, and then you have 2 socks again for your feet. So when you have a yellow sock and a blue sock, and they're both right socked, then you can put them on your feet, and you do 1 on your right foot and 1 on your left foot, and then you have socks again. And who cares about the color? It's funny, and you can make people laugh, because you have 2 different socks, and then you make people happy. And you make your socks happy, because they don't have to be thrown away, because they don't have their own partner, but you gave them a new partner, and the socks are happy. I think I have to go and count my rows in a minute, because I am knitting and knitting while I'm chatting with you. And I only had to do 5 rounds. So I am going to count in a minute, and then I will have my lunch, and I will go on with knitting. So the next time Vonne goes to the Handwerk Club, it's every 2 weeks. Then she has, perhaps she managed to finish a sock. Or and then she said, "Nee, Granny did that for me." And I know I'm at the end of a round, because here I have my starting tail, and then I know I'm at the end of a round. And when that leg part gets too long, or you are at your foot and you can't see your starting tail anymore, then you could put a stitch marker in it. And that was quite nice, because when we came the first time, Tineke had a present for everybody. A little bag. And in that bag was a mini skein of Ketona. I love those little balls of Ketona. It's a lovely color. And you can do all kinds of things with those. And there was a present in here. Look, a little stitch marker. And I can use that for the sock. So I can hang it halfway my sock and find the starting tail and take the stitch marker along as I knit further on. And then I know that is the beginning of the round. A stitch marker, thank you. It's so nice. And she had all kinds of business cards. Look, for her own store. De second-hand wool shop, tweedehands wolwinkel, for new and second-hand yarn. She has new yarn, leftover parties, partijen, yarn that will be out of sale, vintage. She has patterns, she has needles, she has packages. It's a second-hand woolwinkel. Very nice. And you can shop at her home. She has a store at home, but she really appreciates when you call her from I'm on my way, so she can tut up herself and she will look nice. And the address is over here, and it's very nice. You're very welcome. And then she had Vonne's card, her new card. Vonne's Creations. It's a very nice card. Leer haken bij Vonne's Creations. And then the QR code to her YouTube channel. And her email address. It's very funny. And this is Miranda. That card was inside there as well. Because Miranda has her own YouTube channel with workshops for the knitting machine and workshop for crocheting, and she has a live cafe. It's all so nice. And the little girl you see on the picture, over here, the picture, that is Miranda. You see, this is the photograph of Miranda. And here you have a drawn picture. And she didn't draw it herself. She told it once. There was a Japanese artist who made these kind of drawings, and Miranda contacted him, and now she is allowed to use his pictures because he's very proud. She and her very famous YouTube channel wants to use his art. Look at it. It's exactly Miranda. The long hair, the smile, the blushy cheeks, and of course a cat, crochet work, and a cup of tea, and in the forest. Miranda lives in the forest. So you see here, the forest in the backyard, that's her garden. That's Miranda. So, the stitch marker in the present I can use in my sock pattern. So I am going to count my rows. Let's put this one. No, I'm going to put this in my project bag from Vonne, like that. So when I knit it a lot, I can go and use it. This is a nice present, and I'm going to save it, and I'm going to give this back to Vonne so she can frog it and start all over again. Again and again and again until it looks. You see, Vonne doesn't always, she makes mistakes just like you and I do. Everybody makes mistakes and has to crochet back. Frog in English. Uithalen. Start all over again. Yeah, we all have to do that. That's nothing strange to Vonne and to you and to me and to everybody. But I really wish her luck with that, because it's not fun to do when you think I'm going to make something easy and then you have to frog it 2 times and then it's still isn't right. Well, I understand she yesterday at the club, she really didn't like it. But she asked me to tell in this video that she had a lot of fun and she was nervous for nothing, because everybody was very nice and relaxed, and she had coffee with everybody. There was one young lady who wanted tea. Now, there was some tea. Someone had brought cookies. So, yeah. And Vonne did have a smoke outside. Yeah. Well, Vonne and no cigarettes, that's not compatible. You all know that. Look, and I have a color change again. And now the red is done. And the red is vervangen now by the brown. You see the brown here? Now you get a brown bit. It's nice. I'm very wondering. Look, I've got my round now finished, because here is my tail. and I'm at that needle. And you see how simple it goes with all those needles. You don't need all those fancy, crazy trio, knit wonder and things, and the magic loop and round knit needles and all. You can do it just like this with the knitting needles, 5 or 4, whatever you like, and you pick a nice yarn and you can make very cute socks. I'm wondering if Vonne will knit all winter long, because knitting socks is very addictive. Really, it's so much fun. And with all those different kinds of sock yarn these days, you can make all kinds of socks, and for every size. For children, for grown men, for yourself, for everybody. And when you make a pair of socks and you give them for Christmas, the receiving part will be so happy. So, I mean the one you give them to. They will be very happy with hand-knitted socks. Really, it's very hot and happening this season. Knitted socks. So, in the description box there will be 2 links. One to the sock yarn from Tineke, from the second-hand yarn store. To the sock yarn, I will put a link. And I will put a link so you can learn to knit with all those needles by Joke from Draadje Los. So you can learn it. If you don't know it, you can learn it, and then you will knit and knit and knit and knit, and you think, oh no, one more round, oh no, one more round, and then your sock is finished. So I wish you all the happiness in the world. I'm going to put this skein in the project bag, so it won't be lost. And I will take this with me, and I will knit. Maybe I will knit the coffee bean as well, because I am addicted already. Then I will give Vonne the finished socks, and I will tell to her van, here Vonne, look at this, I made this for you. And then she will be happy, because I want to make Vonne happy as well. Not just you, but I want to make Vonne happy as well. Also with it, but she won't like this because she has to frog it again. But it's very nice yarn, it's the Iceland, and she will crochet with that. I promise you. I wish you a very, very, very happy day, and please try it. You will get a new hobby. I promise. Really, I do. Bye, everybody.